My friend might lose her job and it might ruin our relationship. What do I do? Been a while since I've posted to Reddit. Sorry for a long post. I don't know how to best sort out relevant and nonsensical information, so apologies in advance. About the relationship and history. We've been friends for about 8 years. I, 27F, used to work a specific position at our shared place of work. We'll call my friend Pancake. She, 25MTF, was working at this restaurant, changing names and occupation in post, before I was brought on. I worked a section with a big event space and struggled with it on and off, doing exceptionally well for a few months, then fumbling time management for a few months, before they moved me to a more regular table section. I was close to being fired, but this new section went over rather well since these customers were more relaxed. Life happens, and I have to resign from my position, unemployed, while my friend took up my old section with the event room. About the friend. Pancake has been closeted at this job because we work with close-minded people who have been openly cis to me. We lived together for a year prior, sharing a house we rented from my mother before life happened, and I needed to move in with my mother, meaning she had to move in with her transphobic father, whom she worked alongside at the restaurant this summer because he's a consultant of sorts. For years, friends and I have insisted she gets medical help for her mental problems. Living together, she defaulted on these often as a reason she couldn't help me with chores. Things like cleaning the litter box or going grocery shopping were overstimulating. She couldn't keep track of when trash day was, etc. I broke down in tears asking for help, and while struggling with my own mental problems. My family was growing concerned about my inability to eat at family events as I lost more and more weight over the winter. After moving apart in spring, she finally reached out to a doctor for the first time in the 8 years I've known her to get medication to help her focus and transition. MTF matters. As excited as Pancake was to start her transition, she never followed up on her doctor's recommendation for gender therapy, and while raving about how she'll look so much different, she has no intention to come out at work, even when the changes become visible, but her health insurance and medication is from the benefits of our employer. She said she'd rather get a new job instead of come out. I couldn't support her during her transition because as it started I realized I just didn't like how she approached being a woman, and told her I may never understand this view on being a woman and suggested she follow up on her doctor's recommendation for therapy to find a transgender support group that would understand her completely, but that all hinges on her benefits. She was insistent she'd get a new job, but when asked about her application process, she brushed it aside. The job problems. She's been getting scolded by her supervisors about the event section. They find crumbs behind curtains and stains on the seats and tell her she has the most experience at the restaurant and should be able to handle it. She words it to me as just more bullshit, but my experience in that section tells me they're right. When I told her to vacuum the carpet instead of roller sweep, she said it takes too long. When I said to clean the chairs, she said they never asked her to and it's wasted effort. When I still worked there, she'd pull me from my section every night to help her set tables until my supervisor told me not to be her crutch. She'd call to all of us to help, but I was consistently the only one responding. This started when they told her if she needed help on bad nights to call for help, and then I guess every night was a bad night. They retrained her, and now they had the hostess supervise her. I'm not there, so I don't know fully why, but Pancake complained that the hostess didn't help at all. They gave her a hard warning about how things were going, and she's very negative, very confident she'll lose her job, but last week when I asked again about her job search, she brushed me off. I asked if she wanted my advice or not via text, and she asked what my advice was. I told her I would have to call and talk with her, and she said she'd rather relax for the next 4 hours before she has to deal with work. The risks of losing her job. I think about her consistent attitude with her jobs from these past 8 years and how living with her was, the friends that gave up and ghosted her years ago, and if she loses this job and the medications, canceling her transition and mental support. If that means going back to what our relationship was in winter, I don't know if I could do it and support her. I love her so much, I don't know why, and she loves me. It's not like the meds have magically made her perfect. Sometimes she focuses too long on the wrong things sort of deal, but going back to who she was these past 8 years, I've bailed her out of multiple bad situations, cleaned mold out of her apartment carpets before she moved out, and she was my ride to and from work for over a year while we worked together and before we lived together, but I feel mentally exhausted. I don't want to lose her, but she won't take or listen to my advice, and I can't give her empathy to her failing job performance because I went through it and persevered. I can encourage her, but she blames her boss for the section and standards being too difficult. TLDR. Friend rejects my advice for the job I used to do and is getting in trouble at work for bad performance. She treats me like a nag, but losing this job means losing her mental health benefits. Should I let it go? I'm terrified of what'll happen to her if she loses this job, but it's not my life nor responsibility. Should I keep pushing her or give up? How can I let this shit go? I don't want to let her go as a friend because I don't have much of anyone else in my life, but I can't see the right thing to do for her.